Is Amazon FBA a scam?
Yeah, and people look for different things. Like I remember we were talking to Echo, shout out Echo Flips. He was saying that he likes like the big profit flips, maybe they're slower movers. Whereas I'm okay with a little ROI, but faster, sell it now.
And then a lot of people also just sell a bunch of courses online just to get their foot in the door, just have some sort of money coming in.
Cheers.
Gambe.
Welcome back to the Doughboys podcast. In this video, we're going to be debunking some common Amazon FBA myths. We're going to be presenting true or false statements about reselling on Amazon and then break down exactly why they're true and why they might be false. Cisco, you want to kick us off with a question?
Let's do it. Is Amazon FBA a scam?
A scam. This is one that, like, whenever you're telling people about what you do, they're like, is that a scam? Is that illegal? What are you doing? Surprisingly, hear this one pretty often when you're telling people about it. The answer is no, it's not a scam. But I want to preface that with it depends on how it's presented. So if someone tells you, oh, it's automated, give me 10 grand and you're going to start making money overnight, that's not how it works. This is a legitimate business. It can be a side hustle, it can be a full-time income. But it is legit, but it does require time. It requires a lot of hard work. It's something that's not going to happen overnight. It is legit, but it depends on how it is presented. That's my answer.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, I think it just depends on like kind of where you learned about Amazon FBA from, right? So there are suspicious characters in the game. For example, one that comes top to mind because I think he's getting sued for whatever amounts of money. What is his name? Kevin David? Is that who he is?
Oh yeah.
And then a lot of people also just sell a bunch of courses online just to get their foot in the door, just have some sort of money coming in. So if you're looking at that aspect of it, then yeah, there are going to be some bad cats in the space. But if we're just talking, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, private label, then no, it is definitely not a scam, and it is a amazing, great way to make a living.
Great. Next one is Amazon sellers are required to provide customer service. What are your thoughts on that one, Cisco?
Both. Because if you're doing FBA and it's all done through FBA, then yeah, Amazon takes care of it all for you. There are some things that you might have to do, but not necessarily customer facing. But if you do FBM, then yes, it is more so you have to deal with the customer and answer questions that they might have or solve some issues that might be coming in. And there are going to be times in certain scenarios that you're going to want to do FBM.
Yeah, definitely. So FBA fulfilled by Amazon. They handle fulfillment, obviously, and they also handle the majority of the customer service. FBM is going to be a little bit more hands-on for sellers. You obviously have to fulfill the items yourself, ship the orders yourself, and then you have to provide a little bit more of that customer service. There is a program where Amazon will handle FBM customer service. I would not recommend enrolling in it. I think it's a waste of money, but it is out there. But, it kind of depends if you do have to provide customer service or not. Next one.
And I don't even, well, actually, hold on, not next one, but we didn't even talk about like private label, right? So private label is through FBA. And so Amazon does cover most of the customer service. But if you've grown your product to a big enough platform, you might be having your own business and your own website or your own storefront, where in turn somebody might have bought your stuff from Amazon, but they're still coming to you for questions or what may have you. Yeah. So that's just a little spin to it.
Next one. This is really interesting because this is actually something that I thought was true. I guess I just spoiled it, but I thought this was true whenever I first heard about FBA. So this next one, Cisco, is Amazon requires a minimum threshold for inventory.
You thought that was true?
When I first heard about FBA, I thought you had to send in a minimum amount.
Completely false. You can definitely send in one item FBA and Amazon will accept it. Is it the best business move? Absolutely not, because you're probably sending a lot more than you should for shipping it there. And then it's just one item. So it's you're sending in one item and it's taking up a bunch of your time. Unless it's like a high ticket item, then maybe. But
yeah. And to clarify, that's saying like a shipment of one item. What you could do is have like 100 different ASINs that you're sending in, and maybe you're just sending in a couple of each, and you're still going to have better shipping rates. What we don't want you to do is literally just send in one item. You can send in one or just a few of each specific ASIN if you'd like and build that larger shipment. But no, there's no minimum for what you have to send in.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Got answers.
So everything we've talked about sending product into Amazon, true or false? Is sending product into Amazon, FBA or FBM, is that the only way to make money off of Amazon or off the Amazon seller space?
No, there's tons of ways to make money on Amazon. I don't even know about all of them. There's FBA, FBM, where you're actually selling stuff. There's
print on demand.
Print on demand. They have
books, ebooks.
Yeah, ebooks. They have some type of like survey thing. They have a way that you can develop your own software.
The Amazon influencer program.
Yeah, influencer program, more affiliate.
Those things like selling like lists to find product on. What are those called again?
Oh, leads list.
Leads list.
Ooh, you mean the Lions list?
Yeah,
Wolf list.
Shout out. But yeah, so
I think there's a lot of like shoot offs even from the Amazon space that you can make money. That is, then you're not relying on Amazon to pay you. Right?
Yeah, so there's all those ways to make money through Amazon, and then picking any one of those subsets, there's ways to market products to people who are doing those different things on Amazon.
I would say before you can get into those, you have to kind of have built a reputation of who you are to sell those products. I think Rizzi said you shouldn't try to sell anything unless you've been giving away free, knowledge for the last year or 2 years, or I forgot what benchmark he used. Now, I wouldn't take it that far because I think there's certain people that are a lot more studious of the Amazon game and can learn the subject a lot faster than others. Yeah, I think you have to have been in the game, been in the trenches, and know what you're doing and have a good reputation. I think that's part of the reason why Logan's done so well with his stuff, just because everyone knows him as the nerdy kid who's super smart, who knows what he's doing.
I thought I was a robot.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Don't talk to him unless you've done like at least 15 shipments of Small and Light.
Yeah.
Small and Light. Sad face.
Yeah, rip.
Rest in peace, Small and Light.
Rest in peace.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, I guess that's not right.
All right, Cisco, true or false? Amazon resellers can set their own prices on their products.
It's true and false.
Yep.
You can set your prices within what Amazon deems proper, I guess is the best way you can put it. They have, if you put it up to way too high, then it will be considered price gouging, and then they will make your specific listing inactive. Now, there's some weird loopholes around it, just because I think I've mentioned this. There was a rare Ninja Turtle toy from Walmart that was just like boxed as if it was like from like 1964, and it was like a retro Ninja Turtle toy. And for whatever reason, if you found them in Walmart, you bought them for like $14.99 or like $19.99. But Amazon lets you price it all the way up to like $140, and I sold 2.
Nice, good flip.
That's quite the flip.
That was quite the flip.
Yeah, so it's definitely true and false. You have a lot of flexibility, and for the most part, you don't run into any errors as long as you're not price gouging. You can set whatever price you want for your products, but sometimes you will get those high price errors. Like Cisco mentioned. And yeah, sometimes that can cause a violation on your account if it's too severe. More often, though, it just makes the product go inactive until you lower the price.
All right. True or false? There is only one correct way to source.
The most false statement we've made. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways to source.
Yeah.
100%.
Like even if I just said one way of sourcing, like reverse sourcing, there's a million different ways just to do that in of itself. Yeah. So it's extremely diverse, and everyone has their own unique style.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times we like to get caught up in our ways and say that this is how you need to do product research. But at the end of the day, that's your preference. That's how you like to find products. And maybe that's how you're really successful at it, but it's not the end all be all. There's tons of different ways to find products.
Well, and like some of that just comes down to some people are looking for different products. Like even across the different business models, you're not going to source the same way. You can't source books the same way you source for pretty much anything on OA. It's just not the same format.
Yeah, and people look for different things. Like I remember we were talking to Echo, shout out Echo Flips. He was saying that he likes like the big profit flips, maybe where they're slower movers. Whereas I'm okay with lower ROI, but faster, sell it now.
And he was also saying he was buying stuff from Facebook Marketplace and putting them on Amazon.
Yeah.
Was that right?
That's really interesting.
That might have been his eBay business or his Facebook.
Or his eBay to Facebook Marketplace or something like that.
Yeah. Shout
He
out
was pushing
that episode. We'll link it up here. Cisco, true or false? It is more profitable to sell your products for a higher price.
For most of the time, it is true. You know the specific number, but there is this like a little gray area, which will probably change August 1st once they roll out the new fee structure. But because we're recording this, what is this, July 10th? So August 1st hasn't hit just yet. This might be out by after August 1st. Who knows? Anyways, back to what I was saying. There's a specific number. If you sell it above that amount, your fees become higher. So then it becomes not a smart move to sell it for that higher price and just stay at the lower cap.
Groceries, it's like $15 or
Logan knows.
So what they're getting at, guys, here is reduced profit ranges or RPRs, and basically it's where you're selling your product for a higher price, but you're making less money, and this is due to higher referral fees. So the example here is in the grocery category. It's less profitable to sell something for $16 than it is for $15. You'd think I'm selling it $1 more, I'm going to make $1 more, but you're actually going to be making less money because at $15, the referral fee jumps up to 15% from 8%. So they're taking 15% of your sale instead of just 8%. So it's less profitable to be selling between 15 and 16.24. Another one I think is beauty. It's $10 to 10.81. Those are kind of the two main ones that you're going to run into.
Yep. Remember, this could be all changing August 1st because they are restructuring the fees.
Subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even the whole structure. Yeah. So shout out if you're looking for your pricer, shout out Seller Snap, link down below. They do not reprice within these ranges. So if obviously you want to be making more money, right? If you don't want to be pricing your products within these ranges, do business with Seller Snap because they do not take your products into their RPR range. So that way you know you're maximizing your profit potential.
True or false? Amazon sellers can only resell in their own country.
False.
Audio cut out. What was the question? True or false?
Yeah, true or false? Resellers can only resell in their own country.
Ooh, yeah. Go ahead, Logan.
False. I've got friends all over the world that sell, and even like here, I know people that sell in other marketplaces. Easy ones are Canada and Mexico, but there's people who sell in Brazil, Singapore, France, whatever. Amazon is all over the world. It's a global business, and there's global opportunity whenever you're coming into this. So yeah,
100%.
Definitely false. You can sell.
You can definitely sell from the U.S. to any other market and from any other market into the U.S. Now, the one thing with this is make sure you read up on the restrictions. Just because you can sell something in the U.S. does not mean you can sell it in Canada. Just because you can sell something in Germany does not mean you can sell it in the U.K.
Yeah.
Read up on the restrictions and make sure you're up to date on everything that you need to. Me personally, I just stick into the US, keeps it a lot easier to handle. I'm thinking for this Q4 that I'm going to open it up to Mexico and Canada just because it's Q4, but we'll see.
Shout out Q4.
Shout out Q4.
Yeah, so my suggestion here, if you're wanting to hop into other marketplaces, would be take a targeted approach. Generally, I would say, you can apply things to your entire catalog, but this is not one of those things. I would say maybe just take a few key ASINs, make sure you study up on them, make sure you know the rules, and then you can launch those in other marketplaces as well. Go ahead.
For my example, what I was going to say was the reason I'm planning on doing this is Q4 obviously is huge for toys. And for whatever reason, the Mexican marketplace goes nuts with toys, especially starting in October once those Dia de los Muertos Barbie dolls come out. Those always sling.
Yeah, they do big time. Never even thought about. Yeah, true or false? You have to spend money on advertising. In order
Is there a
to grow
difference
your
between
Amazon business.
advertising and
Josh,
marketing?
you want to answer that one?
I think that's false. I don't think you have to advertise because like Amazon already does so much. It just already has a name. Like people just go on there because it's trusted. So I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Cisco, what's your answer?
I think that's the main allure, especially when like you see the gurus talking about Amazon that's their business model, right? They don't have to spend money on promoting or advertising because you're already selling name brand products, right? And for the most part, it is 100% true. You don't need to do anything really, but Logan and other sellers have found a lot of success in doing what's called PPC campaigns, which is a form of advertising your product. And it gives you some advantages at taking over the buy box and having your listing be be out more. And so and it's not that expensive. Like you really think of advertising, you think of like the first thing you think of is having like $1,000 advertising budget.
Right.
And that's not really the case.
Yeah.
I suppose it would be a little bit different in IP. No, what is that? Private label.
Yeah.
Potentially business model.
So I'm going to say it depends on your business model. If you're doing arbitrage wholesale, it most likely is not necessary because the key foundation for this business is we're studying Keepa and we're hopping on listings that already have volume. We don't need to spend money to drive volume. It's already there. We're studying the history and then hopping on the existing volume that's there. So we're able to capitalize on that opportunity. If you're creating your own listing, maybe it is arbitrage or wholesale and you're making a new bundle or something. Then you might want to slap some PPC on that to drive traffic. If you're creating your own brand, you're probably going to want to have paid traffic going to it. So it's not necessary, but probably highly recommended depending on if you're doing that kind of strategy. Now, as Cisco was mentioning with your just regular online arbitrage wholesale strategies, PPC can be an absolute game changer. Necessary? No, because the traffic's already there. But what we found is by running a low bid PPC strategy, like 3 cents per click, maybe 2 cents, you can like massively increase your sales. Every time I talk to someone and they implement this, their sales explode. We're running like sub 5 advertising cost of sales. So what that means is if you spend $50 on ads, you're going to see $1,000 in revenue. It's a no-brainer. Everyone should be running this. And we'll link a video down below that breaks that down further.
Seems like a win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't forget all those links, man. Don't forget, we got a link.
They're in here. Seller Snap, that video, and
I don't know.
Flips. KV flips.
KV, what? Not KV.
I got
No.
them. Don't worry, I got them.
All right.
Any more true false questions, Cisco?
Yeah, true or false? Being an Amazon reseller is oversaturated.
That's a good one. I'm going to say no. And that's another one that you hear a lot. I think it's not oversaturated just because of the sheer amount of demand. I guess it kind of depends on your goals. But for most people, they're in this to make an extra few thousand bucks a month. How much does Amazon sell a month? Like billions of dollars?
Trill.
Yeah. Hundreds of billions, maybe trillions of dollars a year in revenue. And you're trying to make a couple thousand bucks a month. Like you need to take such a small sliver of the pie in order to be successful. Yeah, maybe there's more competition today, but if you're just trying to, make some extra money, there's more than enough opportunity.
I don't know. I think if you even put it like the numbers game of just like how many sellers are joining every year, how many sellers are getting their accounts banned, tried to drop ship, got shut down, found another job, didn't stick with it, just opened an account. I just think if you go on a pure numbers game, it's just not going to be oversaturated just because you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands, new joining, and you're going to have a percentage of that dropping away and then old Amazon sellers sifting out for various different reasons.
Yeah, and the number that we're looking for, it looks like Amazon as a company sells about $514 billion in the U.S.
Yeah,
Annually
last year, and that's up from the year before,
and
that's just one marketplace, right? And so when we talk about saturation, yeah, I think due to COVID and the internet continuously getting bigger and bigger and Amazon getting bigger and bigger, I think we're starting to see more and more people jump into the space. But a lot of those same people that jumped in are also going to jump out. And then some of the people that were in it a while ago from the beginning or a couple of years back are hopping out of it and doing other things. You know him, Logan, the book guy, Caleb Roth.
Shout out Caleb Roth.
Recently sold his software, and from the most part, from my understanding, he's kind of out of the game now.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and so even Reezy, he was big in the game for a long time, and he's come out that he no longer sells. He focuses more on educating and putting out his content out there for everyone.
Yeah,
definitely not
saturated. It's cool.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below. See you on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.